Greetings everyone, Adventures Infinity here, and welcome to the finale episode of Let's Play Starcraft 2, Heart of the Swarm. Now, I'm back at the campaign selection screen because there's one thing to tidy up before we actually do the final mission that I want to take care of really quick. And that is, if you go to the Swarm campaign and the Kerrigan tab for achievements, you have a bunch of achievements throughout the game that you get through using each of Kerrigan's abilities once. I'm not going to go over all of them, but I am missing a few. So they include using Wild Mutation, Kerrigan's Infest Broodling's ability, Fury, Airdrop, and Apocalypse Now. And I wanted to quickly go to, well, I suppose not Master Archives, so just have to continue. Okay, so we're here with Kerrigan's abilities. We're going to change to some of the abilities that we need to actually get. Let's see, need Wild Mutation, and I suppose the rest of it doesn't really matter since I need Apocalypse, Drop Pods, Infest Broodlings, Fury, and Wild Mutation. So I'll have to do two separate runs, but let's go with Fury and Drop Pods first. And the mission that I actually like to do the mission I like to play in order to get these achievements is actually Death from Above. Let's just replay on normal. Oh, whoops, but first you have to actually change Kerrigan's abilities within the actual menu here in the archives in order to have it stick for when you're playing that. You can also change your army mutations around for that mission. And the reason I like to use this mission for this particular achievement is because there's always a ton of enemies being respawned or not buildings rebuilt, but units being respawned. Oh, that's not spawn banelings. Whoops. And overall, just a lot of targets to use your abilities on. So you just load up this mission and then do whatever it is you need to do in order to get each of the achievements that are needed. Whether it be using your big abilities or spamming the smaller ones. I would probably suggest destroying this first segment, but not totally destroying up here, just so that the units will keep respawning to give you good targets against for things like Leaping Strike and Kinetic Blast if you still need them. Alrighty, and this right here should be the Infest Broodlings. Yep, there we go. Surprise! Alright, and for the Apocalypse achievement, I just need 12 more guys. And if we should go right about now-ish, and kaboom! Haha! Get Apocalypse Now, and for doing all the Kerrigan achievements, we get Kerrigan Domination. Sometimes it's just the simple things that are entertaining. Now we are back to the main campaign, and let's see. On the achievement side of things, we have almost everything done. For the actual story mode, we only have to finish doing normal, hard, and brutal 20, which this is the final and 20th mission. Completing the Heart of the Swarm campaign. We've gotten just about everything except for, of course, the achievements for the final mission. I'm not going to show those yet. Now I've gotten all of Kerrigan's achievements for using all of her different powers, and there's the one last mastery achievement for the 20th mission. Again, not going to show it just yet to not ruin the surprise. But now, let's see, I want to make sure I'm going to have could kind of go either way. Gonna leave it on corrosive acid for primary damage. For this, we're gonna have tissue assimilation for them to be able to heal themselves. Range, armor, attack speed. Not really gonna use it, but I guess Sundering Glaive and Burrow, of course. And then for Kerrigan herself, I'm gonna keep rocking the usual strategy here. Actually, I want... let's do twin drones. Get up and running faster. Zergling reconstitution. No, don't really need Zergling reconstitution. Let's get automated extractors. Actually, you probably don't want both macro abilities. We'll do automated extractors and invest beam efficiency. I'll end up with more gas than I can really use, but it's better to have more than not enough. And let's move on to the final mission.
The Terran weapon has been shattered. Your swarm is poised to move. Only the palace defenses remain.
Right on. Let's take down Mengsk once and for all.
The northeast sector is clear. We're behind in the eastern corridor.
It's time, Valerian.
The evacuation is still underway.
I can't afford to hold back any longer.
Promise me you'll avoid civilian centers.
I can't do that. Arcturus would see that pattern in my movements and use it against me.
Then millions will die.
All right. Just stay out of my way, and I'll do what I can.
Moving one beat at a time. After 4 long years, Mengsk is going to go down. Probably around 5, if depending on how long the campaign of StarCraft 1 is said to have taken. But yeah, there are many avenues into the Imperial sector, but they are guarded by the Dominion. Eliminate them and the Swarm forces will join the fight. That's the bonus objective. No Kerrigan levels, but makes the fight, I guess, somewhat easier. Doesn't really matter.
Kerrigan, the die is cast. This is the last day your swarm darkens the sky of any planet. Korhal will endure, as will I.
Nice quote. I'll engrave it on your tombstone. Isha, Zagara, Stukov, Dahaka. All my brood mothers, all my queens, hear me. The time for planning and deliberation is past. Now we tear them down, attack, and do not stop until they are all dead.
Right on. As for Mengsk's thing, I'm sure Korhal will endure, but maybe not him. Now, I want to first go ahead and move these spine crawlers.
Never should have come back to Korhal. You are surrounded by the Dominion's elite.
And yet there still won't be enough to save you. How many bodies will you hide behind?
I've had enough of your tongue. Men, whack them out.
Alright, so first things first, let's wipe out the base over here. And then get a drone over here to start preparations for making this base here. Clear out that thing first. And I actually want Kerrigan to make sure she's on that top side.
Your defenses could use some work, Arcturus.
You'll pay for that.
This world is mine.
Okay. Get that second base on the way. Keep making more dudes, and I actually want to make a second hatchery right down here. And actually, I do want to make sure I have ground carapace on the way at the earliest opportunity. Okay, I'm going to put Kerrigan's Banelings right here just to serve as a bit of a buffer for the dudes that'll be coming. Let's get ground carapace on the way. Make sure all the hatcheries are linked to a mineral field and part of the hotkey. And I think I just stopped a attack. Or at least slowed it down. Let's summon more Banelings right there just to get rid of more guys. We eventually want to get rid of that, but not at the moment.
I sense. No, it can't be.
My queen, a Terran battlecruiser is inbound on your location.
There's something familiar about Jim?
Let's finish the job.
I didn't think you would come back.
We're both tied up in whatever happens here today. We do it together.
Jim. Thank you.
Thank me later. It's time you put your war face on.
Right on. So now let's have Kerrigan leave behind a group of banelings and then start side shifting her way on over. Let's get some gas going on the way.
Jim, weren't you supposed to be evacuating civilians?
Valerian and Horner got that handled. I had other things to do.
All right. Keep that left flank clear while I go put a hurt on Mengsk. I am sworn.
Yeah, Jim does need a little bit of help in order to get started. Let's make sure we have another evolution chamber on the way, and I want to make sure they're both hotkeyed to 5 for my upgrade buildings. And now we want to just load up on drones on each of our bases. Ooh, we're intercepting one of the attacks. Banelings! Her spawn Baneling's ability is just so great. Now let's clear out these encampments while we're working on it. And actually, I want to send these Banelings at dudes over here.
Speak. The swarm.
Because there are some just random groups of dudes
No time.
sitting around. And Kerrigan can deal with that
I
tank.
am sworn. It is time.
Alright, come on, side shift.
Your queen listens. We
Okay.
without limit.
Oh man. They are rather relentless with how much stuff they send at you. Okay, let's get the hive started. Melee attacks and melee ground carapace. And let's make sure we have a set of banelings in front at all times so that we can buffer ourselves. Okay, I want to make 11 drones, and I want to start doing this.
It is time.
Banelings, get out of my face. There we go. 8 more drones to replace the ones I just used. And then as soon as the hive is done, make an ultra den. Start production of queens. Quit it. Okay. Yeah, let's make a few more. Oh yeah, that's right. More overlords.
The swarm conquers all.
Let's put some banelings out in front. Because I want to keep doing damage to the buildings here.
No time like the present.
I don't want to ever, like, be held back in, like, trying to get rid of these.
I am, yes.
There we go, and that's why I want the damage to primary target,
Without limit.
is to hurry and get these things down. Because once these things are down, they stop sending as much stuff here. Okay. Ultras now, to add with the queens that we have. And actually, I do want to
Conquest continues.
do a bit of a covert ops mission with Kerrigan and the Leviathan. Gonna have the Leviathan knock that thing out,
Without limit.
and then move Kerrigan down.
Your swarm is assaulting Terran forces in 3 entrenched positions. If you can attack these positions from behind and destroy them, we will join the slaughter.
Strike now before she returns.
The way is clear, Zagar. Move your troops into the sector.
With pleasure, my queen.
Yeah, they get hero freaking Reapers. But yeah, we opened up that first side. Now it's time to go over here.
We're getting ready to attack the Dominion. Be ready shortly.
Oh, let's take care of this stuff while we're at it. Alright, we want a few of these Tarrasque Ultralisks, a few Queens, and then handfuls of Zerglings. I'm glad the Leviathan survived this long. Okay, Banelings in front of that big group. Get rid of the tanks.
Sky Fury Squadron, destroy the Hyperion.
Pretty big fleet coming this way. Could use some help taking these guys down.
Certainly, Jin. For this, though, I do want to make sure... Dumb Vikings. You always gotta concave what's going on, don't you?
Will not let you destroy humanity's only chance at salvation.
Okay, Kerrigan, your time to shine. Get rid of one of the Banshees, Banelings on where the Vikings are landing. Okay. Now that was rather annoying, but at least we can rebuild the spine crawlers. And we need 14. We'll figure out how much more we need afterwards. Okay. Now let's use the Leviathan and break in here. Where'd Kerrigan go? She's all the way back there. Have Kerrigan start punching out tanks to help the Ultras get in. Good to go. Do we need any more drones down here? Just a couple more. Okay.
What is it this time? The swarm shatters all.
Summon the Leviathan again, and I want to put Banelings in between the planetary fortress and the bunker right here. They tend to go after units, but it'll work. Let's make sure Kerrigan takes out that tank.
Stukov, your path is clear.
Understood. Let's finish this.
We require more minerals. Our forces are under attack.
Alright, yeah, we're more concerned with spending all the larva than we are
We require more minerals.
all the gas at this point, because we're just going to have more gas than we know what to do with regardless. Let's go ahead and start missile attacks so the queens can at least do something useful. I was about to say useless.
It is time.
And right about the time that this defense stops working, we're going to have
Make your peace.
units that will help a lot against it. Let's make sure we have a lot more queens. I want to make sure we are maintaining about a dozen queens or so.
Our conquest.
Let's Baneling the tanks before they become a problem. Cool.
Retribution.
And except for the attacks, Jim should be basically fine. Okay, let's have the Leviathan
Getting ready to attack the Dominion. Be ready shortly.
attack the battlecruisers. Okay, good. A few more Ultralisks. Yeah, I say if we're keeping about a dozen Ultras and a dozen Queens, we're probably fine. I want to lean more towards having more Ultralisks by the end of it. Let's get some more Zerglings and keep attacking up this side.
Alpha Squadron, destroy that damnable ship.
Battle cruisers inbound. Might need your help on this one, Sarah.
Blast the Thor. Cool. More Ultras on the way. Now, when I wrote the guide, I did a strategy on hard just to basically macro up and take out the objectives in one fell swoop. Or just to macro up the first 15 minutes and then just go for it. This one, I'm going to be doing all the achievements, but it could conceivably, you could conceivably do just about everything. Alright, before Leviathan times out, let's have him blast this thing. There we go. Blast the bridge control. We get a bridge to reinforce our units.
More minerals.
Okay. Kerrigan, Bingling! Summon Leviathan back over here. Aha! That wasn't so much on purpose, but it works for my purposes. Move Kerrigan back so that we don't have to worry so much about the tanks. Come on, I want to be able to see the tanks. There we go. There we go. That's taken care of. Now we're going to have our whole army keep attacking up this way. Am I low? No, queens are fine. Let's fill out on Zerglings. Kerrigan's not quite back over here yet. Dumb Reapers. They get Hero Reapers and they still have the anti-building grenades. Did I lose? No, I didn't lose the Leviathan yet. Where is it? There it is. Let's have Leviathan use his blast on the planetary fortress. And then we'll summon banelings around it to kill it off quickly. Alright. The Leviathan is down, but we should be good. Finish that off.
The avenue is clear of defenders. Dahaka, send your pack into the city.
Yes, we will feast upon their essence.
Alright, and then this is a great time for a mid-mission save. Okay. A great time for an attack as well. Yeah, you might have to reload a couple times to get this to work. I had to. So, let's see. Let's rally all the hatcheries to there. And then we're going to start busting up this ramp. Let's get rid of the tank, because tanks actually are kind of annoying. Let's try to make sure that we keep the Ultralisks on task.
To attack the Dominion. Move it out soon.
Let's make sure we're staying up on the right side here. Let's take out that Thor and then keep moving up this right side. Take out that tank and we have the Odin up here. Okay. Now, right about where this tank is, I'm going to spawn some banelings. And... okay. I want to go back to base and start pumping out Zerglings and Queens. Now, one of the achievements is actually to destroy the Odin here before, let's say, about the 22-minute mark. So there we go. We kill him, we get speed bump. Alright, get banelings in there. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly why I'm having this much issue. Yeah, I had to reload again. But, oh well. Let's make sure the Leviathan is using his blast ability. Let's kill the Odin again. I think if you just kind of focus on, like, the battle cruiser when you get in here, and stopping the units that really slow the Ultralisks down, then it makes it a lot easier, but I don't know. I suppose if everything was too easy, then it wouldn't be as fun. This is more what I remember, so if you're having trouble, maybe just step back and reassess the situation. Alright, let's pull everyone back at this point. We've actually killed the Odin. Now we're getting resources back again. We're getting... okay. Come on, get the Zerglings up here. And let's get everyone focused on the door up here.
The dominion of man is stronger than you. We will see your ashes spread to the wind. Men the blades for humanity.
Haha! Just barely. That can go a lot smoother, but oh well.
Zagara, take command. I have an appointment with the Emperor.
Long live the Queen.
Yeah, it's just kind of a fine line between whether that strategy will actually do it for you or not. But we finish and we've done all the achievements. If you don't kill the Odin before he goes after... Or no, if you don't kill the Odin before about the 22.5-minute mark, then Mengsk will send it after Jim. And the Master achievement is to actually kill it before that happens. So, we get the Reckoning for finishing the Reckoning, Swarm Guardian for preventing the Hyperion from taking any damage. That's why I went over there and protected him when he first landed, because he has trouble when he first lands, as well as with the 2 attacks. Complete the Reckoning within 25 minutes on at least normal. And then the Mastery achievement, if we go down here. Actually, it would be the latest one. Destroy the Odin in the Reckoning mission before Mengsk sends it at Raynor on hard difficulty. He sends it with a ton of like Goliaths and Marines and a couple of tanks, I think. So, definitely worthwhile to get that done ahead of time. But now, that is all of the achievements for Heart of the Swarm. And that wraps up the Mengsk kind of tyranny saga.
Hello, Kerrigan. I've been waiting for you.
I'm surprised you haven't tried to escape.
Escape? My dear, I'm afraid you've got it all wrong. Really? Did you think I'd keep an animal like you close to me without some kind of insurance policy? Clearly, you are my greatest failure. Now, at long last, you will die. Change of plans.
You can never suffer enough for all the lives you've ruined, Arcturus.
I made you into a monster, Kerrigan.
You made us all into monsters. Thank you, Jim. For everything.
My pleasure, darling. Always was.
I now see my true enemy. He waits for me in the void, wielding powers I cannot imagine. I go to face him, having renounced everything. My humanity, my identity, the man I love. But I will not face this enemy alone. I am the Swarm.
And in episode 3 of the StarCraft 2 trilogy, we'll be facing Amon. Now again, I'm going to speed up the credits here. No disrespect to the people that made it. Thank you guys for making such a great game. But then otherwise we'd be here for 45 minutes. Now, for Heart of the Swarm, I think my thoughts on it are that the way it presents the story is much improved from Wings of Liberty. I think Wings of Liberty had the better actual story pieces, like what actually happened, but they just hadn't learned that much about how to present it yet. Like the cutscenes between Jim and Kerrigan in this one were amazing. And also the characters in this one were very surprising to me. Like I mentioned before, the original Zerg campaign in StarCraft 1 was just a bunch of basically talking brains blathering at each other. Whereas this one had a lot more interesting characters. And granted, StarCraft 1 had Kerrigan and the Overmind, which was... those two were very brilliant characters, but then everyone else surrounding them on the Zerg side were kind of bland. But Dahaka, Stukov, Zagara are anything but bland. So definite props in Heart of the Swarm. I loved this expansion. Gameplay-wise, this is a little easier than Wings of Liberty was. If you do, I guess, if you were able to do hard on Wings of Liberty, you can do brutal on Heart of the Swarm. Legacy of the Void I have finished at this point, and it goes back to the Wings of Liberty level of difficulty. Sometimes skittering a little past it. But not by too much. But yeah, this is an overall easy chapter of the StarCraft 3 trilogy, which in a way kind of makes sense. You're playing as Kerrigan, who is, by most lore, the most powerful being in the universe in this story, aside from, at this point, Amon. And I can't really say too much about the music in this one, just because there wasn't really a whole lot that I remember from it. Although I remember it not being poorly. I remember it not being poorly selected. It definitely fits with what was going on. That's one thing I think really shines in Legacy of the Void, is sometimes it can get a little cheesy, but the music in Legacy of the Void is just astounding. And I also loved how they brought in upgrades that you could switch on the fly with the different mutations. I guess my only criticism on the actual gameplay side of things is I really didn't like that the Swarm host was only, or didn't have Burrow from the start, I guess. But that might be a bit of a bias from me having experienced the multiplayer first, where they did just completely burrow naturally. But, oh well. Overall, it's a great series, even if a lot of the missions end up being like, you as Kerrigan stomp through everything. But there are some different changes of pace now and then, like playing Niadra on Calder. And Xeris was completely surprising. It wasn't a turn I was expecting for the Zerg campaign, but it was a welcome one. And I literally did not remember the scene between Jim and Kerrigan where she actually they kind of address the Jim wanting to kill her, and I suppose it's showing him kind of being having a bit more foresight than that, not letting emotion completely rule him. He knows what needs to be done. I think in the end it was a great interlude between the two other chapters, with some great story points, particularly from the beginning and the end, but then a bunch of interesting characters in between. But yeah, I suppose that's about it. I think overall this chapter of StarCraft 2 is like 9s or 10s across the board. Not really gonna go that in depth with it, but next time I will be starting Legacy of the Void. I'll probably do a small introductory video to show off a few Protoss tips and tricks and some of the terminology I'll be using. But then after that, we're going to be following Arcturus. And let me tell you, I can't wait. It was the expansion I got sick over, as annoying as that was. Literally got the cold because I stayed up all night playing it. Oh, but that wraps up Heart of the Swarm. With 100% completion now on Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm. If I go to achievements, we are maxed out on our achievement score for those two titles. Next time, we move in to Legacy of the Void, starting with the prologue, Whispers of Oblivion. Until then, this is Ventures Infinity, signing out. Take it easy.